So thank you very much for joining for the presentation I would like to give you for a niche area from the ZF company, so which is on the trailer business, and what is the development which we are dealing with right now and which I would like to present to you. So allow me to give some words on the company itself. So because ZF is quite a big organization, so with nearly 170,000 people employed, with a sales turnover of more than 44 billion euros and 3.4 billion which we invest in R&D. So we are really investing in the new technology from tomorrow. So more interesting for here is what are we doing in commercial vehicle business, and with the acquisition of WABCO into the ZF group in 2020, so we became a one-stop shop, bringing together from WABCO all which is related to the braking system control for truck and trailers, as well as the trailer business itself, and merge it together with the ZF, being the expert for traction control and traction components from component level up to subsystems and full systems in the PES car, in buses, in tractors, from light to heavy duty vehicles, and some other areas. So with this commercial vehicle group right now having more than 25,000 employees, we are the biggest tier 1 supplier in commercial vehicle industry worldwide. Sales is about 7 billion euros, and we are really globally settled in more than 28 countries globally to support really in the regions and the local customers which we have worldwide. Here it becomes a bit more visible, so it means most of this component on the truck side you might know from ZF, from the former history, but when it comes to trailers, so we're having big experience in whatever comes to brake system controls like IBS and ABS systems in the different regions, but as well disc brakes, other components reflecting the pneumatic circuit in the vehicle, as well as electric components, and up to aerodynamic solutions which we have for certain applications. So what I want to present today is the status of a project which we are running, which has already quite a history. So in 2018 we started to implement a traction drive unit into a trailer, and we presented it at that point of time on the IAA fair in Hanover. And these times it was still under the old WABCO generation, so we changed over now in the ZF group, that you can say I'm a kind of a cherry picker, taking the components out of the group and bring it together to a trailer system solutions which we have right now, which is consisting basically on a traction axle, an electrified axle, which is used for traction support of the full truck trailer combination. And we have installed on the standalone trailer as well a battery system, a HV system. And you find it here on this picture in this box in the middle of the trailer. And it means whenever we go for braking or for deceleration of the truck-trailer combination, so we recuperate the energy and we store it in the battery and use it for traction only. So this is the main purpose. Why we're doing it, it's based to get efficiency. So the potential for recuperation is depending a bit on the different areas where you are having different use cases. Let's say if you go for regional deliveries, then you can save up to 16% of fuels on this combination, which is corresponding directly to CO2 reduction if you combine this kind of trailer to an ICE truck from today. And by this you can save up to 60% of the braking energy, which is otherwise wasted in heat. For some countries and areas it's very important that you change even the vehicle dynamics, so you have advanced traction on the system. If you go to the Nordics in winterly conditions, so this is sometimes helpful. It's a side effect which we are using and which is very much appreciated, but the main focus is really to give a contribution on trailer for the CO2 reduction. We have, beside of this, as well the possibility to electrify auxiliaries. This is very interesting for reefers. It means we can electrify the cooling unit as well. In this is for the time being still a prototype, an add-on. We have a so-called e-work system, which you can see already for truck application, and similar approach we will be using for trailers then in the future. So the latest generation of this vehicle was presented on the New Farm Fair in May of this year. And this was shown, you can see here basically this functionality roughly, that on the middle axle of the 3-axle bogie we have installed the integrated e-axle. And then you see the two white boxes in the middle of the trailer. One is basically containing everything related to the battery, thermal management, all the electric subsystems on HV basis. And if you extend batteries, you need a second box. In this first vehicle, the second box is more for measurement equipment, but it shows you a very good dissimilar approach that from the trailer builder side, it's quite easy to install. Basically, he only gets the axle, he gets the boxes to be fitted on the trailer chassis, and then the final assembly of the HV cables and the end-of-line testing has to be done. So it means it's approached already for industrial solution to be easy to be introduced in a trailer production process. So the base configuration, what we have is measured on and with a reference to the European vector tool for let's say providing standardized profiles for regional or for long-haul delivery, so that we can measure what is the effect of such kind of a measurement or of aerodynamics or whatever, so that you can see what is the benefit if you compare it to a standard trailer from today. And what we measured is to bring it in numbers, so that for this recuperation part we can save up to 6.5 liters in a tractor. So, and with this, which would correspond to regional delivery roughly. So if you have some hilly area, if you have a certain level of stop and go, if you go for long haul application, the absolute value will be still quite respectable, because you drive much more kilometers, although the percentage level is lower due to the fact that on these routes usually you have less braking events. So for the axle, just to show you where we are approaching is, the question is how to bring it to an industrialized solution. So we have here a short overview how we do this. It means ZF has already experience since years on the electrification on trucks and buses. And there is a certain platform of e-machines for the truck business and for the bus business, which is centrally mounted, which you can see on the left side, these electric central drives, where we have two different approaches with different power levels. And brand new as well since May published. So we have an integrated axle design where we have all the components of the electrified axle installed on the axle itself. It means the axle comes together with the e-machine, with the transmission gear, with the inverter, with the control unit, everything installed on the axle. And this range of basically 4 configuration allows us to provide solutions for the different vehicles in the field, for trucks, from light vehicle to heavy duty vehicle, from buses, and finally to trailers, which we have now as a new variant which we are introducing here. So it's important to understand that this is not a development for trailer only. So we take on the synergies out of a high volume production for the future, that we go for value creation in-house. It means whatever are the components which you see on the extracts too, like the e-machines, the inverter, the transmission and the e-actor inside, this is all in-house production. So it means in the different location from the group done, and we will have a first production line, small volume production on this brand new platform, which will be running in Friedrichshafen in the center of the headquarters for the time being. And then later, with rolling out, can be localized in the different regions. So the power, what we have here indicated is from the layout, basically what was already the requirements from the different truck manufacturers. You can see it here that for the trailer variant, we have a special single wheel end to be developed, which makes a difference, and we have trailer-specific software which is needed, which are different from some of the applications which are used for trucks. But from this level, you can see roughly that the power of 210 kilowatt is quite huge. The philosophy of the control basically is not that we use this full power for traction. It's more used to recuperate very fast in a very short time. And the main core part of the project is keeping this master-slave distribution between truck and trailer. It means we will only support this configuration under a certain level. And it means this development of the functional safety of the combination, this is really the core of the project, what we are dealing with. So the combination is possible to be used in different applications. Just to mention it clearly, so for the time being, the combination of having an EBS, where we are market leader in the trailer, plus the control unit of the axle allows us to control an independent vehicle. So if we are in the right condition to go for traction support, if we have the possibility to recuperate, or due to, let's say, an ABS event or emergency situation, that we have to decouple the system. So this means we keep the standard communication and the interface between truck and trailer, which is existing today. And this means, due to this standalone principle for the time being, it means we can combine it to any kind of truck, to any kind of brand which is in the market. And it can be used as well for ICE trucks, but as well for the future trucks, the zero-emission trucks, if it comes to BEV, or if it comes to fuel cell or any other propulsion technology. And maybe this gives just a short overview where we are and what is the difference. We can see even here on the SOLUTRANS many e-trailer configuration, but I think the understanding of e-trailer is always a bit different because there are so many different systems, because it's a modular world. The easiest system, and you can see it already on public roads, this is energy recuperation if you have this combination of cooling units, electrified, including a battery on a trailer and a small power generator axle, which is not having any traction. So these kind of systems are available on the market from the different companies and already running, let's say, in the ramp-up of volume production, so right now. This is an area where we as ZF are not in because we do not have the right product, and we focused basically on what is seen here on the middle and on the right side. It means we go directly for CO2 reduction to go for the next step. So already mentioned, the main experience came already since 2018 from the CO2 reduction and fuel reduction of ICE trucks. But when it comes to range extension, we can use this as well, already mentioned, but then the principle is more using the e-trailer as a range extender. So to cover the pain point which we have today on these trucks, that either the infrastructure is not there or the range is not sufficient to go for long-haul application or even for midterm application. In this use case, it's very important that you have a lot of dependency. So we see that the complexity is to be solved really industry-wide. So that's why we are working and dealing with a European-funded commission project, SEVES it's called, where we bring together the truck manufacturers, the fleets, the trailer builders, the system providers, but as well the infrastructure, to really demonstrate that today's transportation mode across Europe will be exchanged by a couple of vehicles to go for completely zero emission. And in some of these use cases, we will have an e-trailer as well to demonstrate what is the benefit and what is, let's say, the sizable modular part which we need to have. It means it depends a bit of the range of a truck and where you will find superchargers of the future to charge the truck, that you define what is the range you still need, and this is what we can then support on the trailer level. So therefore we see there's a much bigger complexity. This will come definitely, but I think the first step really you can find and will see in the market is then the combination of fuel savings on ICE trucks, because these kind of trucks we still will see for a long time. We have even many of them on public roads if you see for these combinations, and even if you see it not only from the European perspective, because the approach which we are dealing with is really a global one. It means even the axle platform I showed you was for global rollout. It means for North American market, for the APAC states as well. So the benefits is, so we integrate this complete e-drive on the e-axle. We have recuperation, we have traction mode, drive application, and we can go for local auxiliary supply, specifically for reefers. I will come to that. This is one thing. For other type of trailers, there are different options on the long-term perspective as well needed. We have the X-Trax, which is as well in the rollout phase because it's brand new, so which will be then available and even be published for where it will appear in different truck applications in the next couple of years. So, and we will have one variant then for trailer application for the European market. Second level beside of this is that we can combine it for the BEV trucks and use it as a range extender. So the only difference what we then will have, it will change basically the size of the battery due to these modular aspects. We have more, let's say, pre-consulting to be done to define what is the best configuration of a vehicle in comparison of costs, in comparison of weight, additional weight for such kind of system, and for the needed range which you are providing. So in this sense, we will not have one battery, we will have most probably two different, maximum 3 different sizes of capacity, which is right now not completely defined by serial development, but beginning of next year we'll have clarity on this point. And then I discussed about the fuel saving coming from recuperation. Maybe to highlight, if you extend the system by a plug-in system that you go for rechargeable possibilities on the trailer as well, then you have the possibility to increase the level of CO2, basically up to 40%. It means basically if you bring the system to a permanent propulsion system on the trailer side, and therefore you need then big batteries if you because you have then to guarantee that you will not run the battery empty if you go for 500-600 kilometer away, which is needed. It means the recuperation will be the real efficiency part, but you have as well the pre-charged battery, which is more kind of energy substitution, which you can do. And these both effects we can do together because we are the experts so on brake system control, and means in the combination of what we have on the control unit for traction plus the knowledge of the braking systems on the trailer, so we have the control unit to allow without any additional sensors to do the control system of the e-drive. So we are not using any sensors like kingpin sensors and so on. We are doing it on the intelligent way on the systems we have already on board. So now we are on the stage since May as well that this is something what we cannot do alone because it's too complex and even the way to market is a bit more complicated. So we announced that for the European market, we go together with PPW because one big issue is that we have the traction axle which has to be implemented into the running gear and suspension system. And Here we are aiming for that this must be a validated product. It means a 3-axle bogie should be as easy as be possible to be integrated to the trailer builder. And it means from the trailer builder point of view, he will get the same like today, 3 axles pre-configured on different leaf spring systems. And in the future, one of these axles would be then a ZFE axle. Next topic is that we have to bring in the boxes and even go for the homologation of the complete vehicle. And therefore, we need the trailer builder. So we are already in this SEVES project working with Casper. So we announced on the New Farm Fair as well that with Casper and Krone, we will have the partners on the trailer side which will go for the integration and really developing the part together with us. But the system will be available at a later point of stage to any trailer builder. So it's not exclusivity in this sense. So it's really the approach by such an investment which we are dealing, that we have a system which can be easily applied to the different trailer builders in Europe. So one word to the auxiliaries, just to show where we are for the moment. So this is still on prototype level, but indicating what is still missing to bring it to the market. On the one hand side, we speak about the AC net. It means a combination to apply and to integrate, for example, a reefer application. But this morning there were even other questions. It means the question is how to substitute mechanical PTO through an electric PTO. This is very important on the long-term step if you go for other type of vehicles, if you go for tipper applications and so on. So it means we have here first solutions which are already in cooperation with the truck industry working on, and this knowledge and this experience we will take over and do variants applicable for trailer applications later on. So that's one part of the story. That's the technology and how to bring it to market. The second big topic in this area is why we don't see these kind of trailers today in the market. It's very easy because it's not allowed to drive traction on public roads. So, and here we made some good progress because on the one hand side there are clear, let's say, signs from the decision makers on the European Commission. So what will be the future? So one of the topics is that there is a proposal to bring even regulation for trailer builders in the market. So most probably to be decided beginning of next year. So then it means every trailer has to contribute by 7.5% of CO2. In the beginning it was announced to be 15. So let's see what will be the final result. But it means for the trailer builder the hurdle will be to grab whatever is available, like lightweight tires, aerodynamic features, but as well it will give a certain push to electrification as well, because it's very difficult to achieve these targets in an average for a trailer fleet. And on the other hand, so the regulation which is needed is affecting weight, it's affecting the type approval of such kind of vehicles to bring them to volume to market and so on. And the whole discussion right now, I would say, is it's sure that it will come. It's only the question how much time it will need to be executed. So the indication is giving roughly 3 years to come. So this is for the regulation work. The second level is then that to make this visible, what kind of measures will bring which effect. It's the implementation of such kind of electrification in the European tool of the Vector. And this has started, so it means the whole timeline for this is really ongoing. But for the market needs, basically, still a kind of uncertainty until when this will be fully be implemented and be available for the market. So there might be possibilities for small volumes to start already earlier, and this is still in discussion, ongoing. So, but it means this makes it very difficult to mention already in SOP, but roughly speaking, not before 25 it will be available. It could be even a bit later, so let's see what is the whole development on this whole topic. So the whole situation I mentioned here is really for the core project and the first project we are dealing with right now for the European market. And for example, we know that this is only the mass product what we are targeting for. It means a system which is applicable for box trailers, for reefers and for curtain siders. We have some limitations. For example, if you want to go for mega trailers, we need another disc brake, 19.5 inch, which would not be available for the first step. So certain variants will come then in a later step, not available right from the beginning. Yeah, that's it about. So where we are. So unfortunately, we couldn't bring vehicle here on the SOLUTRANS exposition today. But we will definitely have one next year on the IAA, and well, in May we showed on the German New Farm Fair this vehicle already. So, and yeah, we're looking forward to solve the issues on the technology side as well as on the legislation side in the near future, and we are very positive this will be a huge contribution to CO2 reduction in commercial vehicle industry. And moreover to mention, so we have so far a very good feedback from fleets, but as well from trailer builders so far, that if you see it from this perspective of what kind of technology exists for somebody who's owning only trailers, for example, if you look at it from a fleet perspective, then there are not so much technology contributing in such high level of percentage of CO2 reduction. So it's by far the biggest measure you can take. So that's what I wanted to present for the time being, and I'm very happy for any question you have. Thank you very much.
Thanks. This is weird. What's the weight of the package on the add-on on the trailer?
So as mentioned, so we were talking about a modular system. It means the base configuration, roughly having 100 kilowatt hours battery. We are targeting to have in the whole system, it means for the add-on weight, I would say, for the whole system, not more than 1 ton, maybe a bit more, but roughly about. And this means this we would like to cover, on the other hand, from the regulation side, which is right now ongoing, weight and dimension, so that we ask for not that the additional weight will not come and be applicable only for e-trucks, but as well for e-trailers. And this means, roughly speaking, we are without any impact on payload for the user. If you look for a system going for long-haul application and to combine it with a BEV truck, then you need bigger sized batteries, and then you will have impact on payload. And we are targeting what I mentioned to find out really what is the best compromise, not to oversize this whole system. So roughly speaking, we will speak about an impact of 3-4 tons maximum, but there will be variable sizes in between. So let's see what we will find out of what I mentioned, the projects to define this, let's say, long-haul variant application.
Thanks. And I know you mentioned the fact that it also did regen on the actual tractor, right? My question is it possible for the device to not have any batteries and only do regen on the BEV trucks batteries? That would basically minimize the weight on the trailer.
Yeah, I think for BEV trucks it will be very sensitive in who is doing recuperation. And so let's say the most important objective from us is not to interact or disturb any operational strategy from the truck. It means we know exactly what we can do without going from the control unit, but as well when it comes to recuperation, so that we are not spoiling let's say the recuperation level a truck is looking for. Yeah. And this we know quite good because we are serving to the truck industry the brake systems as well. So But in the end, right now, I have honestly to say, so it means we have done some testing on our test track in Hanover, but it will come to, let's say, combined testing with the truck manufacturers as well on this.
Thank you. I have two questions basically. One is, how do you manage the post-crash safety, about the post-crash safety in your, because you're gonna have a battery on the trailer installed, right? The post-crash, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, or whatever. If it is a rollover or whatever. Existing trailers have no issue with the battery. Now you're installing a battery on top. And how are you going to manage this in the regulation side? Because it requires, you know, it might have problems with this. And the second one, how are you planning to spread this communication with all truck OEMs? Because the propulsion requires some challenges, right?
Okay, so first to the safety issue. So we are developing the system corresponding to the regulation for all the different subsystems. It means the battery is housed in an e-box, we call it, so in a frame, and this is fixed under the trailer itself. It means there are certain regulation and tests you have to do so that you're sure that this box is strong enough that it will not damage the battery. That's one thing on component level. And then from the system level, we have it set up that, for example, the main impact might be that trucks rush in the end. It means the whole edge of the trailer, the back end of the trailer, we have not installed any HV system, so that we are sure that we will not, or only that there will be no impact directly crashing the battery. So, and this is right now the situation. I know as well that in a lot of areas you still have to consider what happens in case of damages. And there are a lot of open questions, but I would say not only for trailer, but for trucks, for pass cars, for ferry transport and so on, where this full regulation, how to handle accident on battery electric vehicle is still not finally settled. So we are now on this, so we are having the contact to deal with it. We try to bring it from the layout, from the design, for the test level, which is required by today, a state of the art, but still a long way to go. I fully agree. And second question was, the communication for the propulsion. So right now we have in a standard trailer combination only these two pneumatics and the line for electric and one for the ABS, so for the braking system. And this is enough for such kind of a system. It means the control itself is done purely autonomously in the trailer, because we are the owner of the brake system and we know from this device whenever it's... No, what we do is basically we simulate the truck that there's a lighter vehicle behind. And we will never come in a situation where, for example, we push or we go for jackknifing, because this is from the system architecture and from the functional safety the key step in this project, to have these HARA matrix and all this stuff done to convince the TÜV and the RDVs and all the authorities to homologate the vehicle so that it's absolutely safe. And we have so many of such kind of safety critical components brought to the market so that it's easy to be done. It means first step is that we have a completely control inside the trailer to control when we are going to brake, when we are going for traction mode or for recuperation, or when we switch off the system. But it can be extended on the long-term run that the control can come from the truck. This is better, but it needs more, let's say, pre-work on standardization of communication and stuff like this. So we are in already this to prepare this on the long-term run, but this will take at least another 5 years or even longer, because then you need to change the control systems of the trucks, and they will not do it only for the e-trailer. It means whenever there will be a new release of a truck EBS device, then it can be easily implemented step by step. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, if no more question, then thank you very much. Enjoy the show.